All right, typical white guy, Ryan Pruitt. We're back. In a way, I can't believe I'm still talking about this. I really thought I was done after the first, when the transcript came out of the phone call. I really thought, it was done. I didn't know what was going to happen from this. I was ready to move on, other topics, other ideas. But we're still rolling with this because it just keeps growing. To recap very quickly, I keep beginning with this because I just personally feel like it doesn't get played enough. And when the history of this thing is written, of Trump's eventual impeachment, because he tried to basically bribe a foreign country to help him out against a domestic political rival, that it all began because of fake news. To recap the sequence of events, there was a report of a whistleblower complaint that had certain information in it. In an effort to get out ahead of the information, President Trump releases a transcript of the phone call, which, and if you notice all these quotes up here and everything going on, there's nothing from the whistleblower complaint because he made the complaint, the origin of the story, he made it irrelevant. It would be like him releasing the P tape. It would make the Steele report, oh well, no need to verify it. You already confirmed it. So your sequence of events is you have the report of the complaint, you have the Trump administration trying to get out ahead of the report by releasing the transcript. Actual transcript comes out. Everyone is now focused on the transcript more than the complaint. President Trump's been trying to get people to focus on the complaint about who the guy is and why he's not coming forward, and that it wasn't firsthand, and that he had some contact with Adam Schiff's staff. But we don't need the complaint. We have your words. We have your words from July 25th, and then we have your words from October 3rd, in which you told us why. On July 25th, you gave us the what? You gave us the crime. You gave us the act. And then on October 3rd, you gave us your state of mind. You told us why you did it. You tried to tell us why you wasn't involved, but that's not going to work. We know why. Now it's just a matter of dotting the I's, crossing the T's, and figuring out who else was involved. And that's where the whistleblower complaint comes in. And that's where this last week has really run off the rails here. So President Trump digging his own hole with his own comments, as you can see. Meanwhile, the whistleblower complaint was much more, again, the news reports had it wrong. The news reports said it was a phone call. We didn't know what phone call. It mentioned a promise. And there wasn't really a promise that I could think of, a direct promise in the phone call. And it mentioned that he talked about Biden 8 times. I don't think it was 8 times. But the whistleblower complaint was a broader complaint. They bring up the fact that, look, I don't have a lot of firsthand knowledge of what's going on. I've collected this from other people. Kind of sounds like he drew the short straw. I'm the one that's going to put it together. Feel free to double check. And he mentions other names. And one of the prominent names he mentions is Rudy Giuliani, but another gentleman named Kurt Volker, who was serving as an unpaid special envoy for the United States in Ukraine. The day the complaint came out, Volker resigned. So Congress was like, okay, we need to talk to him. And now through all of this, since the Mueller report investigation began, the White House has played the card of, we're going to deny everything, and we're going to call it all a hoax, and we're going to block it all. We'd rather be seen, we're going to play that card. We're going to block everything. Well, Volker resigned and testified before the House impeachment behind closed doors, but he testified. And I believe the pattern in the past had been Congress wants to talk to this person, White House says no, House subpoenas, White House fights the subpoena, it drags through the court. Meanwhile, the individuals involved have either before the press, or if they've actually gone into Congress, have said, because I'm following the White House instruction to not answer any questions. So even when they've gotten the individual forward, the individual has still toed the party line and saying, we're doing what the White House is instructing us to do. Well, Volker comes in, breaks the mold. He testifies for 9 hours. It was only supposed to be 3 or 4 hours. And he releases, as part of his testimony, he hands over a bunch of documents, including emails. So, to lay out the cast of characters that we have here, first we have Bill Taylor. Bill Taylor was the acting ambassador to Ukraine at the time that this was all going down. Gordon Sondland was a Trump donor. Well, first he was a Jeb Bush donor, but then eventually he got in line and he paid about $1 million to Trump's inauguration campaign. He owned some hotels, I believe, in Portland. And so between the $1 million and Portland, that made him qualified to be the ambassador to the European Union. But for some reason, President Trump had him directly involved in what was going on in Ukraine. Let's see, third person on it. Okay, we got Bill Taylor, Gordon Sondland, and Kurt Volker. So Volker resigns. He gets a subpoena, but unlike in the past, he goes and testifies and drops all these documents, all these text messages. And the one I put up on the wall was from, so you have Volker and Bill Taylor are career diplomats that have served in, different presidents, different administrations, different political affiliations. They are professionals. Gordon Sondland is the party hack. And in the middle of all this, this is it was all in caps, the text, but I didn't. Ambassador Bill Taylor, as I said on the phone, I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign. So this is him basically putting it on the record of what is going on without directly calling anybody a crook. This is how diplomats do it. And the response from Sondland is, call me. Okay, then the fourth name on there, Marie Yovanovitch, she was the ambassador to Ukraine from, I believe, in 2016, and she was supposed to serve a 4-year term into 2020, but the Trump administration, through Giuliani and Donald Trump Jr., asked that she be removed earlier, March, right before all of this was happening. She's now testifying today. She's being deposed by the House committee. Now again, she was no longer the ambassador, but she was still an employee of the State Department. Secretary Pompeo had put out a statement saying that no one with the State Department was to cooperate with the House intelligence, with the House impeachment process. There was even word that she would perhaps even resign this morning so that she could then go testify. Apparently she didn't resign, but she did testify. And in between that, I forgot the part about, so Gordon Sondland, so Volker, so you have the whistleblower complaint, names Volker, Volker testifies, names other names, including Gordon Sondland. Gordon Sondland is then asked to testify, gets a subpoena, and says, I'll testify. Last minute, White House pulls him back. The night before, the White House says, no, you're not testifying. And issues I think it's a 5 to 9 page memo to the House, basically declaring war, like, okay, we're done even pretending. We are not cooperating at all. But now today, so Sondland was supposed to testify on Wednesday. Tuesday night they pull him. Today, Friday, there's word from Sondland's lawyer that he is going to defy the White House, that he's going to testify next Wednesday. So you have these people now, the wall is coming down. And the other part of this that's striking, and I still can't believe it, I won't believe it until it happens more and consistent, but there was a Fox News poll that put 51% of Americans are okay with the idea of not only impeaching President Trump, but removing him from office. And, you know, with elections, poll numbers don't matter as much because things can change. National polls don't matter. But in a case of impeachment, President Clinton, there was always a sense with Clinton that he was going to be okay because of his poll numbers. Because a majority of the country was like, yeah, he probably lied. Yeah, what he did was wrong, but removing him from office, that seems a big step. And so there was always, poll numbers during an impeachment can kind of, they tap your course. They kind of give you an idea of where to go and how you're doing. President Trump needs to change things drastically. I don't care, I guess. I mean, he brought this on himself. But it's truly shocking at the that you now have these career professionals defying the White House. And you're starting to see senators in small forms defy the president. So I can't say hopeful because nothing has actually happened yet, but witnesses are actually coming forward. There's a second whistleblower now, so every defaming thing, you know, President Trump put out a tweet about that the whistleblower's lawyer gave money to Hillary Clinton in 2001. Well, guess who else gave money to Hillary Clinton in 2001? President Trump. So there's just flailing. It's all about process. There's no disputing. This is a case where we have the confession, and now it's just a matter of, we have the act. We have the confession of the act, and he's not even denying it. I mean, that's the tweet from October 3rd, where the president says, I have a right to do this. But now we're getting, the reason we have all these witnesses, the reason you do this part, is you get into state of mind. You get into the background. You get into how this one event, and it's still about that one event, it's still about that July 25th phone call, but you're setting up a picture of corruption, of leverage, of a crime, of a full-blown crime committed by the president during his presidency. And here we are. Thanks for listening.